Hey everybody.
Hi.
And welcome to this week's episode of Fucking Easy Food Prep.
Oh, you said it. You remembered it. You idiot.
Sure, it's like my brain half the time because I'm thinking about a million things. I'm always doing a million bloody things. Today we're cooking, it's like a self-saucing caramel pudding. Hey, we
Take two.
we tried it last week, but we didn't follow the proper recipe.
And the camera, memory card
Oh,
was
that's
full.
right. So we had a few little fail forward moments, but
It was tasty.
I feel like it's going to work this time, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is a really, this I think everyone would like, hey, like it's actually quite delicious. It turned out good, but it was a bit dry because we didn't obviously put the sauce on.
We didn't put the sauce on.
Yeah, so so we're using just rice flour. You can just get this from Woolies. If you have any digestive issues, sometimes rice flour can be a problem, but just test and measure, I think. You know, like we talk a lot to the women in the program when they're first starting. So I think people come in, they're like, oh fuck, I can eat heaps of carbs, and they go so hard on the bread and the rice noodles and the potatoes and starches, I guess. Starches are carbs, like the simple sugars, but they're not as nutrient dense and they're only glucose, so they don't contain any fructose, so they're going to spike your insulin levels more than, say, fruit or orange juice. And fruit and orange juice are really super easy to digest, especially ripe fruit. So we always try and get in-season fruit. Hey, you've got a good little fruit shop.
Yeah.
Where we think it's the drug dealer, don't we?
It's a cover for a drug lab.
Because it's open like 24 hours.
It's cheap.
But it's cheap,
fruit.
right?
I don't care.
It always comes with all this weird and wonderful in-season stuff, don't you? Like,
and there's really exotic fruits as well, like fruits you don't see in the supermarkets or normal fruit shops.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, so just I think test and measure to find what digests well and what you like too, you know?
Yeah.
So
bananas can be really harsh
problematic with people.
Yeah.
They're very starchy.
Yeah.
So if you want to have them super ripe and just test. Test. Some people have great, strong digestion and strong metabolisms, and some people, like you and the sausage, a bit more sensitive.
Yeah.
Hey.
And we fucked our bodies for so many years dieting as
True.
well, and
True.
restricting and binging, and you know, so it's going to take time.
You can't undo that shit in a short period of time, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. Years of fucking your body.
We wish, don't we?
Yeah. Well, we're still like, you're pretty good, but
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
I still have a lot of digestive issues, but you know what? I just work around it. You know, I have what I can, and then I'll test something, and if it doesn't agree with me, I won't have it again, and then I'll try it again down the track.
Because a real weird one with you is rice, hey?
Yeah, rice. If I have rice within 20 minutes, half an hour, I'll shit my pants if I'm not near a toilet. Literally. But I can have rice noodles. So,
which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, really interesting.
Do you know what though? I like rice noodles.
Yeah,
Better than I like rice.
You know what? They're so cheap.
They are so
And
cheap,
easy.
though.
You don't have to cook them. You just pour the boiling water over them. 5 minutes, it's done.
Cheap and easy.
Cheap and easy. Cheap, fast and easy. Just like me.
You're easy, but you're not cheap, though.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
Okay, so to start with, we've got 175 grams of rice flour, so Mel's going to be our mixer.
Now, could you put coconut flour in this as well, do you think?
I think you could try. Yeah, it might be a bit heavier, and coconut flour can be quite irritating, like more irritating than rice flour. And again, just back to the whole, like, when choosing your carbohydrates, I think, you know, as a rule of thumb, you don't want to be eating all starches. Because like we said before, starches, you know, like this rice flour is just starch. It doesn't contain any nutrients. You know, think and use your brain and, you know, nutrient-dense sources. Not use your brain, but I think, you know, you when you think about food and what's in it, you want to get the majority of your carbs from nutrient-dense sources, especially when you are healing. So when your body can't tolerate as much carbs, like Mel is pretty good now, you know, she's been training for a while, her metabolism's better. You know, you can have, both her and I can have more white sugar in our diet because it's just energy. But when you're first starting this process, it's really important to focus on getting most of your carbs or simple sugars from fruit juice and ripe tropical fruit, because it's going to be packed with nutrients and it's also easy to digest. So yeah, like white sugar and the sugar found in fruit is the same. It's structurally the same. It's sucrose, which is glucose plus fructose. Fruit and OJ has extra free molecules of glucose and fructose and vitamins and minerals, and fruit has fibre. So yeah, just,
There's
you know.
some words for you.
Yeah, it's You know, you don't want to be having all of your fucking carbs from this.
Yeah.
But having a small slice of this in your meal plan every day, like for dessert.
Yeah.
It's like you have the brownies, don't you, at night?
And the fudge.
Yeah, me too. But we also drink juice and we eat fruit.
Yeah.
We eat liver, we eat oysters, you know, we eat dairy. So there's lots of other nutrients in our diet. So put that in. So then we've got 1 egg. And we've got, there's 100 grams of brown sugar, and I've put 75 grams in there with a tablespoon of rice flour. That's for the, we're going to sprinkle that on top and then put the sauce on. We've got 1/4 cup of sugar in there, 1/4 cup of milk, and then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. Now you could probably even use maple syrup if you wanted to, hey, just depending on what you like. And then we're going to have 2 tablespoons of this for the sauce.
You could probably even use honey if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, honey would be nice. Yeah.
Did you eat that one we made last week?
Yeah, I did. It was delicious. Yeah. I just sort of kept like picking at it in the.
Yeah.
So let's let Mel that. I'm going to mix that and I'm going to wash my hands. But really, if you can't fucking stick to your diet, if you can't be consistent, we've been talking a lot about this week, haven't we, Mel?
Haven't we?
You know, I think it's you know, I always ask women, who is someone that you aspire to be like in our program? What are the habits they have in place? What do they do? So if you're not doing those things, how can you expect to be like them? And I think a key is taking ownership. Taking ownership where you're at. You know,
I remember years ago you said to me, what do you want to be like? Like, what do you want? And I said, I want to be like you.
Oh, stop it.
I started
Now I'm blushing.
I started doing the things that Kitty was doing. I was training, you know, I started training 3 days a week. I started being consistent with my food. Even conversations we were having, and she used to tell me all the time, you know, stop thinking about dumb shit. Stop talking about fucking dumb shit. Why are you talking about
now she says it to me.
Yeah.
Now she says it to me, like sometimes when because I have dumb thoughts sometimes, and she's like, fucking Kitty, stop thinking about dumb shit. Taught you well.
Yeah. Annoying.
And one day she goes to me, you know, it's like this consistency thing really works, Kitty.
It does.
I was
It
like,
took
you
me
idiot.
after about 6 months of fighting with my FEFP. It's like, wow, that just consistency thing works. Yeah, that's what she said, you idiot.
Well, we've preheated the oven to 180 degrees, so pour this in. Pour it into a... Last time we just didn't grease it either.
Oh, no, look. Can you get that hair out? Look at it.
Where? Oh, it's yours. Look how long it is. From the mane.
The mane.
So, yeah, pour that in. And then we're going to dissolve some maple syrup. Not maple syrup, sorry. 2 tablespoons of this in here. This is going to be the sauce.
Yeah,
now,
we
Mel.
weren't too sure about this last
yeah,
week, were we?
but we think it's going to work now, hey?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a cup of hot water in here. And 2 tablespoons of the syrup, golden syrup. And then this is just 75 grams of brown sugar and a tablespoon of rice flour. So it says, well, this is actually a recipe from our client, one of our clients. It says to sprinkle that over the top of the pudding. Oh, I think this is going to be good, Mel. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, we missed a step. There's also 100 grams of melted butter in here that you're supposed to mix into there. So you know what I reckon we do?
Take 3 next week.
Don't do this, but we're just going to pour the butter over the top. You're supposed to mix the butter in with the actual rice flour and all the other stuff.
Maybe this will turn out better.
Yeah, we're just going to like manually mix this in now like this. But you need to mix the butter in with the flour mixture. Oh,
See,
God.
most people would cut this and then start again.
Yeah.
But not us.
Nah.
Because we're real.
We're saving it. Before.
We're not wasting.
Do you like my cup? My new cup? I ended up buying that cup.
With a fuck here and a fuck there, here a fuck, there a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
That's not
That's
swearing out of
definitely
you.
you.
Okay, so now pour this liquid over the top and then put it in the oven for about 40 minutes and it should be nice and moist and self-saucing. So
Will we come back in 40 minutes?
Oh,
And
we're
show
going to have time. We'll see. We'll write it in the comments whether or not it worked out or not. But
Yeah.
we'll pop that in the oven and we'll let you know, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.